VNU Vice President Nguyễn Hiệu chaired a recent meeting with VNU-IS leaderships in preparation of welcoming students to study at Hoa campus. Representative of the institution presented a plan to organize conferences, seminars for staff, lecturers, as well as students' activities and contests in Hoa campus. In addition, VNU-IS hopes to utilize the finished lecture halls and facilities to serve the lecturing of a number of modules and to promote admission activity at the same time. Professor Doctor of Science Chen Chi, National Professor of Poland, has accepted the invitation to work and research at the international school. Professor Chen Chi has published about 100 research projects, including 2 books and articles at prestigious publishers such as Springer's, Elsevier, SAS, Lambert, as well as a variety of presentations at international scientific conferences in the field of computer science, robotics, artificial intelligence, soil mechanics, and information technology applications in construction and soil mechanics. Thanks to his contributions and dedication, Professor Dr. Chen Chi was awarded the 3rd Class Labor Medal for the cause of education and scientific research, along with the title National Professor of Poland. In 2022, International School will introduce a scholarship program exclusively for Indian female students to commemorate the 15th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and India. The Vietnam-India Women Empowerment Scholarships Initiative aims to identify potential female students and provide them with financial assistance for their training to become the next generation of Indian female leaders. VNU-IS will provide 12 scholarships ranging from 10% to 100% of tuition fees waiver to Indian female students who excel academically and wish to pursue a degree in international business, accounting, analyzing and auditing, management information systems, business data analytics, informatics and computer engineering, and the English language. Furthermore, scholarships for international students with outstanding academic records will also be available at the international school. A group of VNU-IS students, including Mr. Phạm Trung Anh, Mr. Nguyễn Tuấn Thành, Mr. Trần Lê Hoàng Thắng, students of Business Data Analytics Program, Ms. Nguyễn Phương Anh, student of International Business Program, and Ms. Vũ Quỳnh Anh, student of Accounting, Analyzing and Auditing Program, have won the 3rd prize in final round of the national contest. Students with Startup Ideas, SV Startup, with the project Gamma Box, a platform to create marketing campaigns through gaming. The SV Startup Contest was organized nationally with 400 participating universities, colleges, high schools, and middle schools. Participants consist of students from the age of 12 to 24, and there were nearly 400 submitted projects since the contest launching in April 2021. The projects are assessed based on their quality and diversity, focusing on different fields. The 70 best projects are selected to the voting round and the final round of the contest. Prior to this contest, Gamma Box has won the 2nd prize of VNU's Innovation Startup 2021 contest, as well as the 1st prize of the Innovation and Student Growth contest organized by Hanoi Youth Union. Ms. Nguyễn Thu Hà, Ms. Nguyễn Minh Ngọc, and Mr. Bùi Phạm Hải Anh, VNU-IS students of Bachelor in English Language Program, were chosen to participate in the Asian Student Exchange Forum, which was virtually hosted on March 10th. The event was co-organized between Global Educators Network Incorporation and Nippon Sports Science University, Japan, which attracted over 100 participants from Thailand, Singapore, the Philippines, Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam, etc. The forum constructed an amazing platform for cultural exchange and enrichment. Through this event, VNU-IS students had an opportunity to broaden their cultural horizons, as well as introducing their country, Vietnam, to the peers. It is completely understandable that they were nervous and hesitant, as this was their first ever international exchange event. Nonetheless, they view this as a challenge, which enables them to cultivate experience and further propel them into a bright future. After the 2022 Tet Lunar New Year holiday, there were cases of COVID-19 among VNU-IS staff, lecturers, and students. With the hope to encourage and support ISers to overcome this difficulty caused by the pandemic, the VNU-IS Trade Union has visited and offered gifts to its member. This is a great encouragement to the union members, especially during the pandemic season. In March, VNU-IS Trade Union organized a variety of programs and activities in celebration of the International Women's Day, a day to honor women. The trade union has designed a meaningful and unique program in which VNU-IS male staff showed off their talent in arranging flowers for female staff of the institution. On top of that, the female staff were presented with an insightful and exciting seminar named Unlocking the Female Potential. Through their own stories, the guest speakers assisted the participants to approach the topic in an easy-to-understand method and find out the lesson for themselves. With the hope to inspire the great pride in the glorious tradition of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, as well as creating an exciting movement in learning, scientific research, culture and arts, physical training and sports, VNU-IS Youth Union has initiated a variety of stimulating activities that fully comply with the COVID-19 prevention and control measures during the Youth Month of 2022. Pioneer Star I-Star is a contest about the history of the Communist Youth Union and the Congress of VNU-IS Youth Union through different terms, thereby propagating and educating the union members with respect to the inception, development, and glorious tradition of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union over the last 91 years. I Blue, the color of youth, is a contest to convey the beauty of blue, the enthusiastic color of youth, towards the anniversary of the founding of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union. The 11-day Go Strong Together Challenge was launched by VNU-IS Youth Union during the Youth Month to convey the message, making changes from the most trivial things, forming a habit of regular exercising and sports, and improving health every day. IS Voice 2022 is a contest for energetic, talented young people where they can unleash their full passion and bring their favorite voice and singing to everyone.
For education in general and higher education in particular, digital transformation offers an opportunity to apply technology in creating substantial changes to training models, as well as to teaching and learning methods. Traditional classroom will gradually be replaced by online, distant, and virtual classroom. The academic space will be more diverse, in place of traditional laboratories or simulation rooms, in which students may experience virtual space learning, including human-to-human interaction and human-computer interaction through virtual reality simulation software. In today's program, we are pleased to introduce a distinguished speaker, an educator who can be said to be a pioneer in the field of digital transformation. Let us welcome Professor Datuk Dr. Porchen, Vice Chancellor and President of Help University in Malaysia. Professor Porchen will share his experiences and insight on the current digital transformation at Help University. Good morning, Professor Porchen. Can you tell us how HELP has implemented digital transformation in teaching activities? Is there any good advice or experience that you can share with us?
My colleagues at VNU-IS, greetings to you. Today I want to explain two issues. The first is how we introduce digitalization at Help University with respect to the learning and teaching culture. And this also includes how we introduce digitalization into the leadership, management, and organization of Help University. The second issue that I want to address is how we can collaborate together in this very exciting journey of digitalization to upskill and improve our teaching staff, teaching resources, and the management of a university that can meet the needs of the pandemic challenge and also the 4.0 industrial revolution. First of all, I want to explain the background of this digitalization journey. Just before the pandemic, about 2 years ago, I introduced a 4R transformation plan. The 4R transformation is about, one, how do we reframe, for example, our vision and the way we move forward our direction. The second R is how do we reinvent the customer value proposition. What do we create in terms of educational value? And of course, the types of skill sets and disposition for our students, including now and in particular the adult population. The third R is how do we redesign our physical infrastructure, governance, and the digital infrastructure. And the fourth R is how do we renew our culture, to revitalize it so that we can also reward people, recognize their contribution, and so on. Now, in this 4R transformation, which we have started 2 years ago, it is a 3-year exercise for the whole university. And inside this university restructuring and transformation, my plan is to help university as an entrepreneurial, digital-driven university. We aim to create the A generation, the analytics generation of young students and adult population in Malaysia. So I created a digital education action program so that with the proper KPIs, measures, and deadlines, we can address our needs properly. But basically, the digital education plan is to create an effective and sustainable adaptation of the existing education using digitalization in a smart manner. So first of all, we have to create a strategic vision for the long term that is high quality and inclusive. And this assures that we have access to digital tools, techniques, and culture. It must be appropriate, it must be easily available, and it must also be affordable. Secondly, we must make sure that this also blends in with the challenge of the pandemic situation, so that as we transform ourselves through the digitalization, my students, the families, and other communities that work closely with us, including regulatory bodies, are in harmony together. So in this regard, we also work very closely with industries, NGOs, and other relevant organizations to address immediate, medium, and long-term needs using digitalization. And of course, by doing this, we create the opportunities and support for the digitalization of teaching methods, pedagogy, andragogy, heudology. Heudology is about self-determined learning among adults.
In your opinion, how can HELP and VNU-IS collaborate to deliver new programs and activities to jointly promote digital transformation in teaching in the near future?
Because now we are focusing on the upskilling and reskilling of the adult population, which has been left out to benefit from tertiary education. So this is very inclusive, and we are creating a resilient remote learning culture. So one of the priorities in our action plan is how do we develop a high-performing digital education ecosystem. So that's the first act, and this focuses on the culture, talent, and technology of my colleagues. First, we must ensure we have the necessary budget and the right allocation amongst the different faculties, units across the university to create the infrastructure, the connectivity, and of course, the digital equipment. Number two, we must create an effective digital capacity to deliver and execute. And whilst doing this, the organizational capability of every level in the university, from the very bottom all the way up to the C-suite, the CEO level, senior leadership and management, we are all together in a journey. So this organizational capability must be there. Number three, we have to encourage, train, and invest in a lot of training programs to create digitally competent, digitally confident teachers in education and training. And lastly, we must create high quality content, if possible research-led, and definitely based on the future that we try to understand. So we have to learn how to use friendly tools that those who are not very literate in technology would not lose confidence in using them. And also get the type of platforms that students and staff find comfortable to use. We must create the necessary governance like e-privacy rules, ethical standards because of the Information Act and so on. Now the second action that we focus on is how to enhance the digital skills and competencies for the digital transformation. Here we introduce a lot of programs. I introduced very basic literacy course for all the students and staff, and they are mandatory. They have to attend a certificate course. Free of charge, we give it to them. But for some others, on top of the literacy, which is the foundation, we pull up the levels 1, 2, 3, 4 from descriptive analytics to higher level up to predictive analytics and so on. So learning how to make use of all these tools and computing equipment, we will improve the levels of competencies right up to those who become digital specialists like data scientists and so on. Here we introduce a lot of courses, even voice training for online teaching, presentation skills, drama, etc. And we want to make sure that everyone has equal access to all this, because if some are behind the others, it is very difficult to have this alignment. The third action that we have created is to have the necessary monitoring and performance management system, so that when we institute the various training for the staff and also introduce new ways of learning for the students, we must be able to monitor them as informative learning. And this requires a lot of data collection and of course the analysis of data. And this is where data analytics would come in. And the last one is how to create various new programs or improve existing curricula to make use of all the above digitalization, culture, talents, and technologies. And at this moment, we have a lot of very exciting things happening, because we have introduced, but also to improve our ODL MBA, our online distance learning MBA, cybersecurity, a new course on investment and wealth management, of course entrepreneurship, but emphasizing startups, virtual tourism, hospitality, all done very differently. So all this will be driven by digitalization. On the second question about how we collaborate, these specific programs are some of the areas that we can identify. One, how do we collaborate, for example, to set up the VNU-IS Help University Education Hub. This will be supported by a steering committee, different working groups, and we can create the action plan on one, how to have the 4R transformation to prepare for the future. Number two, inside the 4R transformation, the digitalization action plan for leadership, management, organization, teaching and learning. And number three, how to create new programs that are all digitalized in this way. I suggest that we have a strategy seminar, maybe April or end of March, and the topic can be the digitalization of a university and a joint collaboration between VNU-IS and Help University. So I thank you so much for listening to me. We can keep in touch on this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Datuk Dr. Bochen, for interesting talk and sharing. We hope that Help University and International School will soon implement many projects to further promote digital transformation in the near future.